I recently had some time to really deep dive on Chat GPT, and here are some high-level thoughts on how we got here, what this means now, and how this will all work in the future. So first, let's talk about how we got here. I was initially blown away, like everyone else, that the technology that made Chat GPT possible was created in 2017, released to the public in December 2017, not too far from my birthday. And it was with a cool sounding white paper called Attention is All We Need. The technology it is explaining is a new neural network architecture called a transformer, which is the T in GPT. It was actually created by Google in their Google Brain Research think tank. This paper is so groundbreaking that it already has almost 70,000 citations. In other words, a ton of other researchers are using this fundamental research to expand the field of AI knowledge. To be honest, if you're not doing research in AI and machine learning, it gets into the weeds a bit. But the key things I was able to pick up was that the new architecture was actually created to solve a key problem in AI. How do you translate between languages? As you are aware, language is very imprecise. A word can mean different things based on the context it is used in a sentence. For example, I raised my hand to request the server come to the table to take my order, versus I woke to find that the server had crashed. In the example, server is a noun, but it means two different things. In the first case, it represents a person, and in the second case, it represents an object. The only way we as humans know this is different is because of the context. An object cannot take an order, and a person can't really crash in certain instances. High-level ChatGPT and other large language models, or LLMs, are able to learn how to pay attention to the context within the sentence structure to better understand what the person's request is. This is not unlike a baby making sounds before it speaks. The young child is trying to learn speech patterns and understand how their mouth moves and what sounds it makes before the first dada or mama are even coming out. Next, these LLMs, or large language models, are then trained, hence the P in ChatGPT standing for pre-trained. With tons of data, which human trainers ask questions of the AI system to verify if it understood what the meaning was. For example, human trainer might ask the AI, what is a car? If the AI says it is a tall person, then the human trainer tells the AI that is incorrect and goes back to a drawing board to get the right answer. Over time, it will learn the best answer on its own with positive reinforcement from the human trainer. This is not unlike, again, that same baby who is now in first grade. For anyone that has a child, you know this scenario. They're learning how to put sentences together, and the teacher is helping them to understand what is a noun and what is a verb, and how to accurately create sentences from this pattern. This unique thing about the training phase is the amount of data that is sent to the AI system to learn. Currently, ChatGPT has the entire internet. We're talking about 5 billion gigabytes of data that's fed into ChatGPT and other type AI models. According to ChatGPT, it took about a year to even put this much data into ChatGPT 3 upon its release in December. Finally, the trainers who come and work with this system, it takes them another 6 months to pre-train it on exactly what these words mean. So when it's all said, we're looking at about a year and a half of training in comparison to what a human being who takes 21 years of training. That includes college before they even get ready to work. However, there are a few limitations here. Because these are pre-trained models, they typically don't know anything beyond a certain point. So for example, ChatGPT 3, when it was released, the data it was using is internet knowledge up to 2021. Anything after that is not as knowledgeable. Secondly, these models tend to do a thing called hallucinate. In other words, they make up facts out of the blue. This typically happens when you ask GPT to pull case studies to research papers. It may come up with some good points and some data, but it's totally false and made up at times. This is not like a child who has to cover up what they know by lying occasionally. So where are we today? As of this recording, there are many AI systems out there, but really only two dominant players: OpenAI's ChatGPT and recently Google's Bard. OpenAI actually has the early lead. After releasing early versions of ChatGPT 3 back in December, it has more than 100 million users within the first 2 months of its launch, making it the fastest growing consumer application of all time. Why? Well, for the first time, there was an interface with a computer that was created that really didn't make you feel like you were talking to a computer. Unlike Siri and Alexa, the answers that ChatGPT came back with were quick and comprehensive. They were also surprising. One day with my son, we went to create a story by adding unique prompts into the chat interface. OpenAI took that explosive attention and immediately raised $10 billion from Microsoft. It then, in quick succession, made the following moves. First, they created a paid version of ChatGPT that made it a lot faster for the ones who paid for it. Second, they integrated with Microsoft's Bing search engine, allowing it to verify information beyond 2021. Next, they created a way for developers to pull the data from ChatGPT with an OpenAI, so now any app can have ChatGPT functionality. Next, the ChatGPT 4, which now allows it to understand images and video. And then finally, the more recent announcement around ChatGPT connected plugins. Each one of these announcements can take a whole video in itself, but I really want to deep dive into the plugin announcement. People are saying this is what we're going to see in the future, not unlike the iPhone and the App Store. The ability to have one platform that can create a recipe based on what ingredients you want, calculate the calories with the help of the new Wolfram Alpha plugin, tell you what things you need to buy with the help of Instacart plugin, and then order directly. The next level is when ChatGPT will be able to order the ingredients for you and have them delivered straight to your home, which I think is pretty much around the corner. This will be a game changer. Now ChatGPT is using other apps to be its eyes, ears, and eventually its arms. The value here is immense. So let's talk to a few examples. First, you could set up a dinner, a movie, have an Uber come pick you and your wife up, and have a babysitter, all with a single prompt within ChatGPT. Another example, help you find a job that meet the qualifications you're looking for and send out updated resumes, unique ones, to each employer. Finally, healthcare, MySpace. So for example, I can find a caregiver for my dad, help him based on certain requirements and pay levels, and have them send me unique resumes and find time for me to interview them in this process. Imagine if the lag time between your thoughts and execution were only limited by your imagination. This is what ChatGPT and its plugins are promising. Simply type it and eventually say it, and it will come about. So let's talk a little bit about Google's Bard. Although Google was first with the transform architecture, they did not move fast enough. On one hand, I think Google, they were concerned and thinking about AI and understanding if it was safe. So in other words, there's a fear that artificial intelligence, that if we are not absolutely sure what the AI's purpose, humans and the AI can have what they call alignment issues. This misalignment can be as something as simple as not answering our questions when we prompt it to answer, or it can be a big issue if an AI system believes that humans get in the way of its intended programming. If that's the case, it may come to the conclusion that humans have no purpose on the earth anymore, which is the beginning of all your worst robot apocalypse fantasies like Terminator or what Elon Musk had mentioned. Ultimately, we don't think this is a big case right now, but it could be something to be concerned about. So what else has Google figured out? Well, I do believe that Google may have purposely slowed the AI development on their own system due to one word: search. That's right, Google owns 90% of the internet search market, and it makes billions on keywords that are bought and paid for. Current Google search is not working well. I think we've all been there where we're trying to scroll for days to find an answer to Google, and that's because of all these sponsored ads that pop up all the time. So a competitor was needed, and we're already seeing that Chat GPT is taking the place of search in certain instances. Therefore, initially, Google had no incentive to accelerate AI development at that time. But now with OpenAI as its first true competitor in search, Google is stepping up. So for Bard is like a chatbot that's not unlike ChatGPT, but the promise is that it will be fully integrated into Google's tools like Sheets, Docs, and Slides. So this will be a game changer for those of us that use these tools. The question will be, how soon can Google release this to the market, or will OpenAI beat them again when they fully integrate into Microsoft's Office tools like Word and Excel? So where are we going with all this? Well, to be honest, I don't have a clue. I just think that this is not unlike 2007 with the introduction of the iPhone, which introduced mobile computing, or 1995 when Netscape went public, introduced the internet to the public, or even 1984 when the introduction of the Macintosh, the first home-based computer from Apple. At the time, we never would imagine we would get the following. First, streaming TV and movies. Who would have thought we could see any movie and TV we wanted just from the comfort of our homes? The ability to order anything from just your phone, or the ability to learn anything via online training. Likewise, I think it's anyone's guess where this AI revolution is going to take us, but I, for one, am excited about it and hope you are too. So thank you for listening. Please continue to like, subscribe if you like the content. Talk to you later.